Hey everybody, welcome back to another 2000 Jeep Wrangler TJ video. This week I'm going to do something about these door panels. They're dirty and they're faded and they're cracked. Stay tuned. Well, I'm going to, first of all, ask you not to look at the mess there. That's just a bunch of parts and stuff that came in. But I'm going to work on these panels. I'm going to remove these, and I bought a plastic welder to kind of fix this crack in the back. And then I actually bought some of this agate colored paint. And we're going to, I guess, do the best we can with these. But the first step is to remove this panel. And I've already popped this clip off for the window crank. Just get a pick in there and pull it off. It's very simple. And let's see, I think a couple screws all the way around it, and we'll pull this panel off and we'll take a look. All right, with the interior trim panel removed, I'm gonna of course take this opportunity to wipe this down, this vapor barrier. And I do have some new handles as well. Those will go in later. They don't have to go in right now. But removing this was pretty simple. It does tend to get caught up on this trim piece right here, but no big deal. So I'm gonna clean this really well, front and back, scrub brush, soap, degreaser, and then we'll, actually, let's take a look at the back of this right now. Oh yeah, so, never used a plastic welder before, but we're gonna attempt that. Try to kind of stitch that back together. And then as far as filling this break in, I'm not sure. I've seen mixed results with JB Weld, but you know, at least it'll be together from the back side, and then I can always fill this maybe with some latex caulking, thinking that might remain a little flexible because the JB Weld seems to break off. But first things first, let's get this cleaned up. I'm gonna let that sit on there for a little bit, and then I will scrub it and get it as clean as possible. All right, well, I picked up a cheap plastic welder on Amazon. First time I've ever done that. And I put some, I guess, plastic welds or plastic staples, whatever you wanna call them, in the back of this. Actually, I don't know if I did it right, but it's holding up. It's pretty simple and kind of fun to do, actually. Just heats up and you push it in, and of course that doesn't really solve the outside, but like I said, I'm probably gonna prime this and then paint this, and then I'll probably put some latex caulking in there because I said JB Weld, I've seen mixed results on it, but this is certainly easy enough to take off and we can redo. So I'm gonna do the passenger side now, and we'll prep these things for paint. Well, I put some high build primer on the sunspots right there, just on the top, and it's pretty much dry. I'm going to go ahead and give this a couple coats maybe of the color. And I picked this up on eBay. I know you can buy different brands, and this is probably pretty expensive for this little teeny can, but it is I guess I'm gonna call it a close match. I don't know, everything's pretty faded, but it's sure gonna look better. And I did get 2 cans of this. I wanna say they were 20 bucks a piece, maybe a little more, which is a lot for this little tiny bit, but we'll give her a try here. All right, well, I'm actually pretty impressed with this little expensive can of paint. I used about half of it. to do one panel, and I'm very happy with the color. This is pretty faded, but you can tell this is an exact color match. And the fact that it's a Mopar part kind of helps. So this is pretty much done and drying. I'm going to do this one, and then we're going to call it an evening. All right, a bit of an update. It is the next day. Panel is painted, dried, obviously, and installed. And I also installed the new handle here, since it made sense to do it while it was off. I gave the 2 window cranks a coat of SEM trim black, so I'm waiting for those to dry right now. And I am waiting for my putty to come in, so at which point it's going to be a lot easier for me to go ahead and try to fill this crack, and then I can tape this off and paint this. But for right now, this looks a heck of a lot better than it did. We'll have a nice refinished handle. I'm sorry, a refinished crank, a new handle, and a door panel. And then, my God, there's a lot more to do. But I'm gonna work on that other side and get that put together. All right, driver's side's done. Both sides are done and looks a lot better. Got this cargo thing snapped back into place. I wish I had a fix for this. The elastic is all worn out, but actually I like this little thing. It's made by Rugged Ridge, and I couldn't find them. This is probably, 10 or 20 years old even, so who knows. But at least this is done. And now I need to move on to certain select parts of the interior. This steering column cover is going to get painted, and a lot of other parts. I still need to do some cleaning, but I don't really have enough paint to paint the entire dash, and I don't think I need to. Once it's cleaned, it's going to look a lot better. And I know one thing for sure, the center console and the lid definitely need to be cleaned better and refinished. So I guess we'll move on to the next part. All right, I realize I'm jumping around on this Jeep, but there's just so many things I want to do. And I think I'm gonna remove this cowl panel here and sand it and paint it. I do have some of this red, and I don't know how close of a match it's gonna be, but at least it's gonna look better. Now, in reality, the hood also needs to be done, but I'm just gonna try to clean this up as best as possible right now and get this eyesore taken care of. So this is actually pretty simple to remove. Just pull the wiper arms off, and then there's a handful of Phillips head screws to release this. So we'll get this off, get it sanded down. All right, with this panel removed, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of give this a clean inside here. That's the air intake for your heater and AC if you have it. So we're gonna keep water out of that. But I can make sure the drains are functioning properly. I'm sure they are. Yeah, I can see it's right there. It's nice and clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this out, and then we'll get that panel sanded down. Okay, I got this feather edge down, a couple coats of this U-pole. This is flame red. This is the actual color of the Jeep. And I didn't film it because I found the best way to actually paint this was to hold it with one hand and spray it with the other. And I just I blended in as best I could, got all the heavy areas, and I don't expect this to be a perfect match because the Jeep is a 2000 and we are currently filming this in the year 2026. So it's had a lot of years of UV exposure, but it's gonna be better. That's all I can hope for. So I'm gonna let this tack up for a bit, probably give it one more coat, and then we will spray some clear over it. So stay tuned for that. Okay, here in my dedicated paint booth, I've got 2 coats of clear on this, and there's a fair amount of orange peel. Can't do anything about that. I'm gonna do one more kind of wet coat after this tacks up a bit, and then I think that will be enough for this panel. And we'll deal with, color sand and buff when it's on the vehicle later, but this is a whole lot better. The gloss isn't there yet because, like I said, there's just a ton of orange peel, but I'm not done with this. So we'll take a look when this is finished and ready to go back on. Okay, well, it's several hours later. This is dried, installed, and although it is not a perfect match color-wise, it looks better. I didn't expect the red to match perfectly, but you know, it kind of is what it is at this point. So more orange peel than factory, obviously. I'll worry about that later. Now it just makes the hood look, you know, worse than it actually is. So on to the next project. All right, I realize this video is kind of all over the place, but I'm replacing parts on this kind of as I feel like it, as I get them in the mail. And right now I'm gonna replace these old crusty incandescent taillights. I picked up a set of newer LED style, so should be pretty straightforward. I just need to splice a couple wires. Lots of videos online about doing this, but these are much more modern looking and definitely will match the LED center brake light that I put in there. We'll go over that when I'm done with this. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and take this off and start installing these. I did get a new, I guess, digital relay that goes under the steering wheel to prevent the hyper flash. So we'll do that last. Okay, about 45 minutes later, I got this thing figured out. That's the incandescent side, and there's the new LED side. So everything seems to work. I just have the parking lights on right now, and I like that a lot. It's pretty cool looking. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the other side. Okay, the left side took much less time. It is now done, and the last thing I need to do is install the updated digital flasher, which I will do next to prevent the hyper flash. All right, inside the Jeep here is the part number for the relay. Let's see right there. This is a 4-pin for 97 through 2000, I believe. There's a part number, very easy to find, not an expensive part. And with this pre-facelift, it is located under here. So you got to take this panel off, and then I think the metal panel underneath, and then it should be plugged in underneath. I know the post facelift ones seem to be under this cover right here, but I'm dealing with the older style here. So let's get this installed. All right, just a quick update. I installed the new flasher, and this is a 4-pin, and the internet said to buy a 4-pin, but I took the old one out and it was actually a 5-pin. So needless to say, this one actually does not work. It doesn't prevent the hyper flash. So this vehicle is a 2000, and they said that this is from 2001 onward. So I don't know, maybe it's for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but I have the 5-pin. So I've ordered a 5-pin on Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow. So we'll pick up where we're leaving off, because this is not working. All right, to kind of close out this somewhat disjointed video, I got these in the mail, these grill trims, I guess. I see these and I like them. I'm a little on the fence about whether I'm going to like them on this Jeep, but I mean, they're literally just stuck on with double-sided tape. And it does make the Jeep look newer, you know, kind of like a JL. So, and they're easy to remove if I decide I don't like them, but I do like the fact that they kind of hide, you know, all the bugs and stuff that are in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on. Now this last one, I am gonna have to cut it, modify it, because the power cables for the winch run through it, but I'll figure that out. I'll just cut a notch at the bottom or something. So I'll go ahead and get these on, and here's what it looks like before to this. I like them. Let me know what you think. I don't know if I'll keep them forever. It's pretty cool to see. It does make the Jeep look newer, like I mentioned. So that's gonna do it for one more episode of the 2000 Jeep TJ renovation, restoration, whatever you want to call it. Until next time, we'll catch you on the flip side.